Hello students, welcome to the session on RDBMS. In our today's session, we are going to discuss about the keys available in a relational database model system. Okay, now try to understand the term called schema so that you people will be familiar with the types of keys also. It is very important question for your external as well as when you are going for the competitive examination. If the questions have been asked from your DBMS, they will be asking you the questions from your keys. Okay, and the keys are the essential elements of any relational database. Just I want to remind you people what we have discussed in the earlier session about the relational database. Here, whenever you are receiving a term called relation, you need to understand that we are talking about a table. Okay, we will be showing the data in the format of tables where we will be consisting the rows and columns in which we will be having a terminology like fields, attributes, and we have discussed about the relationship, and then we have discussed about the domains, and then we have discussed about relation. Okay, all the things we have discussed in the previous session. The first point that they are saying is it is an essential part of your relation that they are saying. Means to say that whenever you are having any table in a relation, you must have what? Keys. Why we need these keys? To identify each tuple in a relation in a unique manner. Consider that if I am having this particular table called student ID, student name, and student fee. Consider this is my table. So whenever I am having this particular table, I need to have what? Keys in order to identify a single student. See, when we are considering a college, we will be having thousands of people those who are studying in that particular college. In order to identify a single student, I will be having a weapon called hall ticket number or a student ID. When we are saying 1001, which is assigned for Ram, and his fees is 30,000. Then, suppose if you are retrieving the data, based on your student name, there will be a student called Ram in one class, and in another class there will be a Ram. In every class we used to have a name called Ram. Okay, so that it will be very difficult in order to access the details of student, those whose name is Ram. Okay, in order to identify each tuple, in order to identify each row in a relation, we will be using the keys in order to identify them uniquely. Say suppose if you are using hall ticket number to access that particular student, then okay, in order to access a complete record of that particular student, we will be taking the help of hall ticket number, so that there will be no duplication of student will be coming into the existence when we are using what? Hall ticket number. 1001 will be assigned for this particular student only. Even if there is a Ram student who is studying in other session, he will be having different roll number like this. So directly by using his hall ticket number, we can access that particular student's details without using any name. So such kind of keys will be used in order to retrieve the data, in order to retrieve the tuples of information about that particular student or else about that particular table. Okay, in order to do so, we will be using what? Keys. Keys are also used to establish the relationship among the tables. So these tables, whatever the tables that you are going to store in your database, will be establishing the relationship. Relationship is nothing but what? It is an association between table to table. One table will be having some relation with the other table. The relationship is nothing but the association. How it is related with the other table, that will be given with this particular table. So in order to establish those relationship also, we will be using what? Keys. Already I told you in the last session that we will be explaining the data that you are going to store in your database in a relational database model by using what? Tables. Every table will be having its own detail. So every table will be connected to other table by using a common attribute. and those common attributes will be called as keys when we are establishing the connection between those two tables. I hope the concept of keys is clear to you people. Okay, now I'll go for the next slide in which we will be seeing the types of keys available in your DBMS. See, these are the keys available in your DBMS. Okay, not only this, according to the users or as author's view, they can be categorizing the keys and they will be explaining in different way. But you need to understand how these keys are used. Okay, as per our session, we are categorizing the keys in these 5 ways. That is super key, candidate key, primary key, foreign key, and composite key. Now let us discuss one by one. Now this is the super key. In our super key can be called, do remember this definition ma? Why? Because individually they can ask you for 4 months. Okay. Super key is a set of one or more attributes. Attributes are nothing but what? Column names that you are specifying. As I have taken the example, they have given example. Try to understand it, ma. This is the employee table. They are having employee ID, employee name, and SSN and date of birth. Okay, department ID. So this is department ID. If it is clear, okay. If it is not clear, I am writing it here. See, department ID. Okay, I hope it is visible to you people. And date of birth and SSN and employee name, employee ID. It can be only one attribute. It can be only one attribute like employee ID, employee name. Okay, it can be one or more attribute. It is a set of one attribute or as more attributes that can be taken collectively in order to identify the result of the table in a unique manner. For example, I will be taking one more table over here, which is of a student. Student ID, student name, and student fee, and department in which he is studying. Department ID. Consider that in order to identify the values of a student, in order to identify a single student's information, I will be having different kind of details over here like student ID, student name, student fee, and department ID. Consider what they are saying. Super key is a set of one or more attributes. These are the attributes, your fields that you are specifying are the attributes. You can take only student ID, you can take student name, okay, else you can collectively take student ID, student name, student fee, department ID in order to identify a tuple of information in a unique manner. Then that will be called as your super key. For example, in this, the super key can be student ID, student name, student fee, student department ID. So completely collection of these things can be called as super key. Or else I can take student ID, student name. Else I can take student ID, student name, student fee. It may be one attribute, it may be collection of attributes which can be uniquely identifying the values of your table, so that will be followed, that will be called as your super key. Okay, I hope it is clear. Right, now I'll go for the next one. The next key that we are going to say is your candidate key. See man, candidate key are individual columns in the table that qualifies for uniqueness of each row or tuple. For example, in a previous case, in a super key, we have seen that it may be one attribute, it may be a combination of attributes. In other words, candidate key can be defined as it is a subset of super key. It is a subset of super key. Subset means what? It will be consisting the minimal attributes from the super key. For example, in the previous example, I said you people that student ID, student name, student fee, and then department ID. So if you are forming any candidate key, it can be used with a combination, with a subset of super key. For example, student ID and department ID can be considered as a candidate key. In order to identify a complete row, I'm not going for all the fields. I'm taking only these two fields, student ID and department ID, so that we can retrieve the data in a unique manner. As for their example, in an employee table, they will be having employee ID, SSN, and employee name, department ID, and date of birth. But they will be considering these two as a candidate keys, employee ID and SSN. Combination of these two will be giving us unique ID. Consider that there is a situation where the similar kind of student ID has been entered. So in order to retrieve the data, I will be going for a mobile number column. So every student will be not having the same mobile number. No? So combination of student ID and mobile number will be giving us what? Unique information. That will be called as your candidate key. Okay. Now these candidate keys should be found in order to create a primary key, I can say. What is the primary key? That we will discuss in our next slide. Okay. Now I'll go for the next one. So this is your primary key, and it is very important in order to create your table, in order to access your table content in a unique manner, I can say. Primary key is a key which is unique in a table, and cannot have null values. Means to say that if you are having student ID, you must and should enter some value in this. You should not have any redundancy over here. 1001 should not be entered again in this particular column. And again, they are saying that it should not have what? Null value. You should not leave that particular column without entering any data. Then, if you are selecting such kind of column in order to retrieve the data in a unique manner, then that particular column is called as primary key. For example, in the previous example, in a student example, student ID will become your primary key. Why? Because remaining things can be repeated for number of times, but your student hall ticket number will not be repeated for any student. For that reason, we will be picking that particular column as what? Your primary key, so that it can uniquely retrieve the data from the table, even if it is having a huge amount of data. So, as per their example, if you are having an employee table, employee ID will become what? Your primary key. Why? Because remaining things can be repeated, but employee ID will not be repeated for any organization. Okay. Even if a employee left from the company, then his employee ID will be registered into your organization database itself. Okay, so that it won't be repeated for the next employee, those who are coming into your company. Okay, so this is what primary key is. Okay, and then so in the previous slide we have discussed about the candidate key. No, if you are not comfort to create a primary key with a single attribute or as a single column, then you can take subset of super keys in order to create a primary key, so that will become what? Candidate key. And now the next one is foreign key. As we have said that by using the keys, we will be creating the relation between the tables in a first slide itself. This is what the proof of that. That is foreign key. What is the foreign key? Just observe it. Here in the above tables, we are having two tables over here, employee table and department table. I hope it is visible to you people. If it is not visible, I am repeating, just try to observe your screen. We are having employee ID, employee name, SSN, department ID and date of birth. And here we are having department table. In that we are having a columns called department ID and department name. Now, department ID of department table is a primary key. Now, in order to identify the department table information in a unique manner, we will be making this department ID as what? Primary key, so that we can retrieve the information from this department table. So when it is a primary key, Whereas department ID of employee, this is the employee table, then here department ID will become foreign. Why we are making this as a foreign key means it will be showing us the relation between the data of tables which are there in your employee to department table. It means it has a reference to another table. This concept is also known as referential integrity. Okay, in order to represent that we are having the data which is related to these employees in some other table, we will be preparing a column which will be having the details, which will be set as the primary key in the next table. We will be making that as a primary key. But you need to register one point that whenever you are preparing a foreign key in your table, then in other table that should be playing a role called primary key in the other table. If it is not, we will be not having any relation over here. Why? Because it need to find out the data in a unique manner in the next table that you are going to use. In other words, I can simply say that foreign keys are the keys which will be showing us the relation to the next table. Else, whenever you are preparing the foreign key in first table, then it should play a primary key role in the next table. Do register that now. Okay. And after this, you see you are having one more key called alternate key. If say suppose if there is no candidate key, no primary key that is available in your table, then we will go for a secondary key which will be providing us the data. For example, what they are explaining, just try to understand now. Candidate columns other than the primary key. If say suppose employee ID is the primary key, then it says suppose if you are not able to find the data which is there in your employee table by using employee ID, then you people will pick one more column which can identify the data in your employee table, then that will become alternate key or a secondary key, I can say, which will be uniquely identifying the data from your table. Okay, and thus are your keys. And composite key is one more key. If a table do have a single column that qualifies for a candidate key, then you have to select two or more columns to make a row unique. Okay, so suppose if you are not using your employee ID, department ID, SSN ID to create a key, then see employee name and date of birth can be selected to prepare a key. When you are having a combination of attributes to prepare for that particular key, then these kind of combinations will be called as composite. Like if there is no employee ID, SSN column and department ID column in this particular table, then you people can select this employee name and date of birth. Else I can say mobile number. See, in a student table, we people will be having a parent number, but in an employee table, we will be having each and every employee with his mobile number. With the name, if you are attaching the mobile number, then you can easily find what? Unique information without having any data readiness. Even for date of birth, sometimes we may match, right? Say suppose Ram is having the date of birth as 1/8/1991, then Sita will also be having, or else Ram, he is working in some other department, will also be having the same date of birth. But when you are going for the mobile number, it will be uniquely identifying the data. So such kind of combinations will be called as composite keys. These are the keys available in your relational database management system. I hope these keys are clear to you people. Just try to read and do remember. Why? Because it is very helpful in your competitive examination as well as your theoretical examination. That's it for now. See you in the next one. Thank you.